My story begins with a tale of loneliness. Lonely? My dad had exclaimed in disbelief. What could an 8-year-old know about loneliness? I had written the usual love letter to my dad, who had just gotten back after several months of being away. I would usually welcome him with a love letter that contained everything that had happened while he was away, including a list of all the people that had offended me. But this letter was different. It didn't contain stories of my brothers bullying me, or of my mom's seeming unending support of the boys over me. Rather, it contained a tale of loneliness. And to my mom, it was just ayo, which is Yoruba for being spoiled. To my mates, it was pride. To my dad, it was probably ignorance or misuse of the word. To my brothers, it was just one of the norms of being an Akinrinola. But to me, it was simply a craving for community. I was lonely, even though there was some sort of seeming presence. I was 8 years old, the last born and only girl of 5 children with parents that doted on me. How could I possibly be lonely? You see, what I craved was an effective community, one with interactions based on mutual understanding. I wanted, and still want, the people around me to constantly renew their knowledge of me and interact with me based on this knowledge. Like, hey, mommy, I'm 8 years old. I can pick my Sunday dress. Community to me is that I know you. You know me. We constantly grow in knowledge of one another and interact with each other based on this knowledge. The beauty of the community is that we are all created to not only crave, but to also respond to community. From the smallest interactions, such as borrowing a pen from the person seated next to you right now, to the big ones, such as marriage proposals or giving talks, you would all agree with me that we are all naturally inclined to interact with one another based on what we know, no matter how little. And even though community building is an instinct, it still needs to be discussed because it would only achieve its aim when it is effective. And this efficiency is determined by the depth of knowledge and understanding of the different personalities within the community. Knowledge is relative, but the effective community would only be achieved when we all continuously strive to know, understand, and interact with the next person based on how they see themselves and how they see life. The world as we know it has come to mistake community for seeming presence. It is often assumed that as long as you have people around you, you have a community, not considering whether there is any form of interaction or mutual understanding. An effective community is not only meant to sell ideas to people, especially young minds, but to help them build a mind of their own and share their original ideas. These communities are also meant to serve as experience grounds for strength, grit, loyalty, focus, and resilience to become better versions of ourselves. We need effective communities filled with interactions and influence. Through interactions, we get to see reflections of our person. And through influence, we see yet even clearer reflections. Being in a gathering where relationships continuously thrive on interrelated understanding leaves you with more of a score sheet of your person, showing you where you need to improve and what you're doing perfectly. The effective community is vulnerable, a safe haven where you can be safe and true in all forms. But we should be careful so that we do not lose our true selves. Vulnerability is often seen as a weakness. A little boy is scared of the dark and the natural response is to tell him to man up. And indeed, vulnerability can be very dangerous as everything in the society seems to be set up against it. But we should not let go of our beliefs, feelings, and weaknesses because in fact, vulnerability can help you build some of the key soft skills such as resilience and growth mindset. How, you may ask? You let yourself feel. Cry it out if you need to, and then use that feeling as motivation to do better. Vulnerability is not always in reference to a negative experience. Show your happiness, dance, but learn, and then use that feeling as an inspiration to do even better. To build, vulnerability is very important for the building of an effective community. as it helps further access to knowledge and understanding of the different personalities within the community. But it has a very delicate balance. There is the place of community with others, and there is a place of community with yourself. First, be your own community. Know yourself. Understand yourself. Interact with yourself based on this knowledge, and ensure your assessment of this knowledge is honest. When this is done, you'd be able to secure the balance of what information you share and with what community, so we don't end up being casted. A popular Yoruba adage says, 2 eyes give you birth, and an entire village raises you. From tales by moonlight to festival celebrations, Africa dwells on deep value for community and communal relationships. And while I cherish African traditions and cultures, I believe it's high time the village starts allowing children to contribute. Enough of children should be seen and not heard. An effective community is not complete until you're building and being built. These two sides of the community need to be very active to ensure its efficiency. An effective community not only builds you, but it also pushes you to build. It equips young ones with values, focus, and the ability to pursue and discover purpose. An effective community is the place that allows you to grow, to be yourself. My story continues with the tale of a community. The Girl Life is a community that concerns itself with the nurturing of teen and twin girls. My craving for the community at 8 led to the creation of a community at 17. I strive daily that we would be able to continuously grow into that community where every girl is free to express, grow, build, and is being built into that fearless force who is indeed happy and true to herself while changing the world. To build effective communities and change the status quo of transfer of hurts and mistakes from generation to generation, we need interrelated growth built through communal relationships. To ensure the continuity of stories of change and impact, we need effective communities. To build effective communities, passion and desire aren't enough. We need to emphasize the place of intentionality and commitment, the ability to put in the work and actually put in the work. There are millions of 8-year-old me out there who aren't necessarily 8-year-olds, who, like me, crave a community. So I urge you today to be a community to yourself and to the world around you. Thank you very much.